in the days, most of the time, you would wait for someone to make the first move. It might be on the first date, it might be the third date, whatever. It could be the man, it could be the woman. But now, all my friends have noticed that the man has stopped making the first move. All my girlfriends are like, they're waiting. It's the third date, fourth date, a week later. He hasn't gone in for the kiss. He doesn't do any touching or anything. And I've asked my dude friends that are single, and they are like, you don't know where a woman's gonna go with that story anymore. I ain't touching nobody. And it sucks because the Me Too movement is so strong and so powerful for the people that need it, but it shouldn't ruin the maturity that we should have within intimacy and relationships.
It shouldn't ruin the maturity that we should have in a relationship. Do you know what happens to a man who gets Me Too'd? His life is ruined forever. I mean, forever. He doesn't get that back. The Me Too movement is powerful for those who need it. Well, what if the woman that I'm touching or trying to kiss need the Me Too? The Me Too movement created an environment where men are afraid to be men. That's what the Me Too movement did.
All right, y'all. Here's a question. Why men don't approach women anymore? Glad you asked. Let's get into it, family. Happy Saturday, everybody. Number one, the fear of rejection. Women today, as we know, have some unrealistic standards. Some women. Unless he has a six-pack, six figure, and is 6 feet, you can't talk to him. Number two, it's not just about the fear of rejection. For some men, it's the fear of being labeled a creep or a predator because the man that's approaching you isn't your type. So because he's interested in you, he a creep? Come on now. Number three, online dating, which has made it so men don't have to get rejected in person. Number four, social media. Now you can just run up in somebody's DM. You don't have to have communication skills. I think all this technology and everything has made our communication skills terrible, y'all. Terrible. And last, we've seen how women will reject men in unnecessarily rude ways. It's okay to not be interested, to try to embarrass them. Y'all, we gotta stop.
Imagine this riveting tale. You're burning the midnight oil at the office, diligently working on a project. Suddenly, your female colleague decides to give you some hands-on attention, quite literally, by touching your leg and flashing a smile that screams HR nightmare. You, being the faithful spouse you are, politely decline her advances. But she's persistent, brushing off your marital status like it's yesterday's news. Despite your clear rejections, she continues her awkward flirtation, making your workspace feel more like a sleazy bar. Then plot twist. You're summoned to HR and accused of harassing her. Yes, you read that right. The person who's been making you squirm is now claiming you're the problem. Fortunately, Big Brother, aka CCTV cameras, comes to your rescue, proving your innocence. But hold your applause because the consequences for her are about as severe as a slap on the wrist. Meanwhile, you're left questioning your choice of workplace and contemplating a career in a less dramatic environment. This scenario isn't just a figment of someone's overactive imagination. It's a reality for many men. The fear of false accusations looms large, leaving them to tiptoe around their female colleagues like they're walking through a minefield. The Me Too movement, while important, has inadvertently created a culture of fear and suspicion. Men are now more reluctant to engage with female coworkers for fear of being the next target of a baseless accusation. So, congratulations, Me Too. You've succeeded in making workplace interactions more awkward and distrustful. The report reveals a startling trend. 20% of men actively avoid private interactions with female coworkers. Even more alarming, a third or more of men admitted they would feel terrified to be alone with a woman in the office, as highlighted in the study's primary research. Why the fear? It's simple. They don't want to risk being falsely accused of misconduct. In today's climate, it only takes one accusation, whether true or not, to derail a man's career. The power dynamics are clear. One email, call, or chat with HR, and a man's livelihood hangs in the balance. Men feel like they're presumed guilty until proven innocent, a chilling prospect for anyone. If a woman were to falsely accuse a man of harassment, he could lose his job, his reputation, and any hope of future employment. This imbalance of power in the workplace is undeniable. As a result, it's no wonder that 21% of men admitted they would hesitate to hire a woman for a job that requires close interaction, such as business travel. Additionally, 19% of men confessed they would be reluctant to hire a woman based on societal norms of attractiveness. These statistics paint a bleak picture of the current state of affairs, where fear and mistrust have permeated workplace interactions, ultimately harming both men and women in the professional sphere. This survey reveals a rather amusing shift in workplace dynamics. While men used to be quite comfortable working with women, recent findings suggest they've developed a sudden aversion. Now, a whopping 21% of men are reluctant to hire women for roles requiring close interpersonal interactions, a significant jump from the previous 15%. What's the deal? Apparently, men have grown weary of the drama and gossip they believe women bring to the office. They also seem to think women don't belong in private, confidential meetings where important information is exchanged. Oh, the horror of being alone with a female coworker in a cramped conference room. It's enough to make them choose a male colleague just to avoid any raised eyebrows. And it's not just a US thing. This trend is spreading across Europe, England, and beyond. The aftermath of Me Too is still lingering in corporate sectors worldwide, creating an atmosphere of distrust and caution. Men seem to be of the opinion that the Me Too movement has gone off the rails, resulting in baseless accusations that can ruin careers. This fear of false allegations has made men skittish about working with women, opting instead for the company of other men. Despite modern women's frustrations at being sidelined in the workplace, many fail to grasp the root cause. For men, their work is their bread and butter, supporting their families and households. The mere thought of false accusations jeopardizing their livelihoods is enough to make them steer clear of women at work. As a result, men are increasingly gravitating towards male colleagues for collaboration, finding them more reliable and less likely to stir up trouble. In cubicles, meetings, and boardrooms, men prefer to work with other men, where they can freely share ideas, information, and organize their schedules without the drama they associate with working alongside women. Men's reluctance to engage with women in the workplace stems from a deep-seated fear of losing the careers they've painstakingly built. They understand that one false accusation, in a society that tends to side with women, could destroy everything they've worked for. This fear has only intensified with the rise of the Me Too movement, as men are keenly aware of the potential repercussions of being falsely accused. It's important to note that this fear isn't exclusive to men. Women, too, are showing a reluctance to hire other women, with more than 10% of both men and women indicating they would be less inclined to hire attractive women. This bias may stem from society's tendency to favor and believe attractive individuals more than others, a phenomenon often perpetuated by popular culture. The blurred lines between acceptable and inappropriate behavior in the workplace have only added to this climate of fear. Innocuous actions, such as joking with a coworker, can now be misconstrued as harassment, leading to unwarranted scrutiny and interrogation by HR. Men are even wary of simple gestures like shaking hands, fearing they could be interpreted as harassment. Despite these challenges, studies have shown that both men and women have a clear understanding of what constitutes harassment. There is a general consensus on what behaviors are unacceptable, debunking the myth that men are clueless about workplace boundaries. In conclusion, the fear and apprehension among men regarding interactions with women in the workplace are rooted in a desire to protect their careers and reputations. This complex dynamic underscores the importance of clear communication, mutual respect, and a shared understanding of acceptable behavior in professional settings. According to one of the researchers, the notion that men are unaware of their behavior's inappropriateness or that women exaggerate harassment is largely inaccurate. In fact, women tend to define harassment more broadly than men. Most men are capable of distinguishing between appropriate and inappropriate behavior and understanding the nuances of what constitutes harassment. However, from a woman's perspective, the definition of harassment can be much broader. For example, a simple scenario like a line manager asking a subordinate to stay late and discuss a project could be twisted into a false harassment claim. This disparity in perception creates a challenging environment for men, as they fear being unfairly targeted and losing their careers over baseless accusations. This fear has led many men to avoid being alone with women in professional settings, to protect themselves from potential career-ending situations. This avoidance has not gone unnoticed by women, who have begun to voice their concerns about being excluded from opportunities for collaboration and advancement. In today's work environment, men may feel pressured to take on more demanding tasks and work longer hours, knowing that their job security is not at risk. This unequal burden can further strain relationships between male and female colleagues, leading to a reluctance among men to work closely with women. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.